house. This is something new for us and for you, so we're all going to go through this together. And I want to first shout out to Charles, Mr. Koo, our assistant principal, for getting this all organized and ready for us this evening, and organizing all of our teachers and our departments and our support staff to be here to present to all of you tonight. So shout out and clap, clap, clap for Mr. Koo, and for all the teachers and staff members for making this possible for all of us tonight. So thank you. And thank you all for being here. I am the principal here. This is my first year at Ball Junior High, and oh, you had to translate, huh? Are you gonna translate, Orlando, or no?
Omar is doing that. Can you just slow down, please?
Slow down. I know. Sorry. Okay. You muted me too. Okay, so welcome to everybody. This is my first year at Ball. Very excited to be here, though it's a different year. It has been great so far, and I think a shout out to our entire staff doing a great job. Teachers are doing a great job, and our students are doing a great job, even though this is a virtual learning environment. So I do want to say that our board last Thursday decided, they voted and they decided to keep us all virtual for the remainder of the year. And though this is difficult for all of us because we want our students back on campus, we have to keep everybody safe, and we want to keep consistent with what we've been doing and have our students meet all day. So that's a difficult decision was made, but it's one that I think we're going to be able to support our students and our families and continue virtually. So that being said, I hope that you all enjoy the evening. Tonight, we have a special event for you where you're going to hear from every department. You're going to be able to ask questions and to hear what's going on with each department. And we also have things posted on our website so that you can see things that have been going on and the work that your students have been doing throughout this year. So now I'm going to turn it back over to Charles, and he's going to take us through the rest of this program.
Yeah, so first off, let's do some quick introductions. My name is, like I said, Charles Koo. I'm an assistant principal at Ball Junior High School. It's my first year here. It's quite a year going through COVID. And next up, I'll introduce Miss Becker.
Hello, I'm Mrs. Becker, and this is my third year at Ball Junior High as an assistant principal, but I started at Ball Junior High in 1991 as a teacher.
All right. Next up, we have our counselors. We'll start with Miss Wynn. You want to unmute and introduce yourself?
Hi, good evening. My name is Mrs. Nguyen, and I am the 7th grade school counselor, and this is my 4th year at Ball.
Great. Next up, we have our 8th grade counselor, Miss Gibson Cross.
Hi, I'm Adrienne Cross, and I'm the 8th grade counselor this year. I am also here for my 4th year at Ball.
All right, and I want to make one more introduction to Mr. Abramovitz. He's our social worker. If you can say hello. Unfortunately, he's not here tonight, but is a vital member of our community. He's our students in counseling, providing referral services for our students. So just kind of get things going, there's a couple other things we want to introduce. We'll ask Ms. Becker to talk about. If you haven't noticed and haven't driven by Ball Junior High School, we're going through a little bit of construction.
Yes, construction started in October, and the main office building with some additional support offices should be finished in June. So that's a huge project. The lunch quad area with new shade structures will be complete before students return in August. If you happen to drive by and see the structure that they are installing Right now, that is for the outdoor stage area, and that's what you see on that picture right there. Other hardscape and landscaping is being pushed ahead of schedule, being that we don't have any students on campus right now, and the entire project is scheduled to be finished in February of 2022. Campus is going to look absolutely gorgeous when this project is finished.
And this is the structure of our new
Outdoor stage.
outdoor stadium, right? Yeah. All right. So that's coming. If we return to campus, that'll be on docket. Ms. Cross, one exclusive thing we do have at Ball Junior High School that no other one else in the district has, an exclusive pathway with Loera in the VAPA department. Can you talk about that for a little bit?
Yes, that actually means that your students can start taking visual and performing arts classes at Ball Junior High and then continue at Loera with higher level courses. If they complete the pathway in instrumental music, vocal arts, visual arts, or theater, they'll receive a certificate and they will have earned skills and knowledge that they can take with them to any type of job that they have in the future.
All right, if you go to our website, and I'll show our open house website in just a second, it'll kind of go over all the different pathway specific classes to take, as well as what colleges we work with that lead, that can carry your student forward in any one of these areas in instrumental music, vocal arts, visual arts, and theater. Another thing that I know we're facing during kind of this COVID pandemic is the stress and anxiety that a lot of our students are facing. So if another resource that we do have for students that we want to make everyone aware of is our mental health resources. If you go to our website, it is one of our kind of little 8 buttons at the front of the website, and the website itself is also listed here as well. This provides some mental health resources for your students if you are noticing some behaviors that are a little bit different. It's understandable with students going through this time right now. And we want to offer as much support as we can, no matter what your family and students are going through. I think Principal Hammer did talk this. Our board did vote. We will remain virtual for the remainder of the year. And in the fall, we'll be announcing kind of what's going to happen up next. And moving on from here, I also like to introduce our PTSA and our FACES coordinator. Miss Orta is our FACES coordinator, community liaison. If you want to say hi and introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Irlanda Orta. I'm the family and community engagements here at Ball Junior High School. This is going to be my second year here at Ball, but I actually went to Ball when I was younger. So I came back. I'm so excited to be back at Ball with my family, with my community, and I'm here to help you guys and serve you guys. Thank you.
All right. Take a quick little break while I mute some people. All right. If you do come in, I ask you to please mute yourself. This is going to be recorded for everyone that's unable to come in tonight. I also want to introduce our PTSA president, and Gilda Sanchez. If you can mute yourself and say a little bit hello. And when you do introduce yourself, can you tell us a little bit about how you got involved with PTSA?
Hi, good evening, everybody. Yes, my name is Gilda Sanchez. I'm from PTA Presidents from Ball Junior High. I got involved because I had my first old daughter involved in junior, and I would like to engage with her all the opportunities that we have in Ball. The benefit to be in Ball is to participate in planning events like a raising money, a sports event, support to get things. And also, I would like to invite you if you can buy your membership through PTA, and it's for $11, and you can do it through Totem and the website. It's on the Instagram and Ball Junior High.
Okay, thanks. We'll make sure we share that a little more prominently. And so if you do want to get involved with PTSA, I know what kind of programs does PTSA support? I know they, at the high school, they generally kind of provide scholarships. What does PTSA provide for the junior high level?
For junior high, we can provide, we can get, raising money, and sometimes we can give you like, memberships, or we can get money so that way we can support it to go to high school or to university. Mhm.
Cool. So I
And
invite
they
everyone.
also, really quickly, Mr. Koo, they
Mhm.
also have been helping, and thank you to our PTA. I've met them a couple of times and we meet every single month. And they've also been helping with our student recognition and with other needs on the campus for some of our departments or things like that. So we appreciate you, and we appreciate the support that you give all of our students here at Ball Junior High.
If we were live, we'd be clapping right now because you provide so much support to our students. You're a vital part of the community. We can't do a lot of stuff without you. So I want to thank you. So if you haven't joined already, I'm a card-carrying member of the PTSA, so I want to make sure everyone else does as well. Also have another program that's kind of new to us, but it is something we want to share with everyone. It is Educational Talent. So I have Miss Carolina Flores. If you can unmute and give us a little bit of background, is what is ETS? What kind of benefits does it have for students that might be interested in it?
Yes, hello. So my name is Carolina Flores. I work with Cal State Fullerton Educational Talent Search, or ETS. We're an additional free program that is designed to support students throughout high school to continue on to higher education or to a career pathway. Some things that we do are academic advising with our students, a mentorship with a current college student, and a high school student. So building that trust and helping them guide. We do a lot of college and career exploration for our students. If students are struggling, there's tutoring, academic support. We help during their senior year with college and financial aid application assistance. And we try to very much focus on all the opportunities that students have after high school and helping them already build those skills from 9th grade all the way to 12th grade. So if you have any student that is an 8th grader this year and that maybe need that support and that extra push during their high school years, then Educational Talent Search can be for your student. This is a free program, so parents do not have to pay for anything. Some cool stuff that we've done, and especially in the fall, when we're physically on campus, we take them to Northern California every single fall. Before COVID happened, we were planning a trip to Washington, D.C. And all of these trips, our students don't have to pay for. It's completely free out of our own pocket as Educational Talent Search. We pay for room and board. We pay for transportation, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And any student can be part of this program. We do work with 9th through 12th graders though.
Okay. If a student of an 8th grader and they sign up now, will they also get the benefits and kind of the mentorship up in at Loera and the high school as well?
Yes, so they would start at Loera or any of our 6 schools. That if they end up going to Anaheim High School, then they will still get it there. If they go to Catella or Magnolia, they will get to have those benefits of our program. We are also doing just an additional support with parents, making sure they're also educated of what their student might need or how it might look like for them in college. And I see somebody has a question.
Yeah, we have a question.
Great. All right. Any questions about ETS, Ms. Flores? You can unmute or open it up into the chat.
Are you addressing to me? Because I wrote that I have a question. I don't know if you're addressing to someone else.
Yes, Gabi Nolasco.
Yes. So how do we enroll to this program?
So we're an application based. I'll go ahead and put my my Fullerton College email, and I could go ahead and forward you the application, or I could even put our application on the chat so everybody could download. We do have some requirements since we are a federally funded program. You have students have to be either first generation or low income or all of the above. but for the most part, we accept all students to be in our program. We have a high need at Loera as far as filling in our spots because we have a specific grant. So if you do have current students that are at Loera currently, they're more than welcome to still be in the program. They don't have to start at 9th grade. They could be a 10th, 11th, or 12th currently.
Great.
We also have
Awesome.
Mr. Anthony Rodriguez. I think he also has a question.
Yeah,
All right. Yeah.
I accidentally missed the part of how to sign up. Can you say again?
I'm gonna go ahead and put the application on the chat and also my email just in case you have any questions of the application.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Flores. As a reminder, if you are in need of a Spanish translation, we do have the interpretation. There's a little button on the bottom under interpret. Ms. Orta, you can help explain.
Sí, buenas tardes, otra vez para recordatorio, si necesitan interpretación en español, abajo de su pantalla, a su mano derecha hay un globito, un mundo. Le pueden hacer clic ahí, seleccionar en español y van a tener la presentación en español. Gracias.
Thank you. Looks like there is one more question.
I have a question. Sorry to interrupt, but my parents aren't here, and I don't know what to do.
I'm sorry, I wasn't able to catch it. Something with the audio. If you wouldn't mind just putting it into the chat, and we can help with your question. If I'm reading correctly, the ETS is all students, correct, Ms. Flores? Or your background? Thumbs up. So it's open to all students. And like I said, they help you and assist you all throughout high school. So no matter what other high school you're going to, throwing your kind of staying. And I see Ms. Flores also put in the high school application into the chat box. You'll be able to download that. Okay. Is there a specific due date for the application, Ms. Flores? No. Okay. So if Anthony Rodriguez, if you want to complete that application and send it over to Ms. Flores, we can take care of that for you. All right.
Oh, I thought we told you. Yeah.
All right. I just also want to check out, before we move a little further, I do want to point out our open house website. So give me a thumbs up if you go to our website at ball.auhsd.us. Under our school, as well as the front page, you'll see this open house link. Once, if you get to the open house link, kind of gives you a little bit of introduction from our principal Hammer, as well as a Zoom link, but we're already here. And down below, you will see information about all different departments. And we're going to touch base on all these departments. And if you'd like any more information on our departments or exclusive pathway with the visual and performing arts with Loera High School, you can click on these options. We also have a highlight video from the Anaheim Union Communications. They produce a wonderful video about Ball Junior High School. And one thing I'm thinking is when I first heard about it was a great opportunity for me to meet the students that was new to the school. So those, unfortunately for 7th graders, had a chance to really see the do a great job. All right. So I'm going to do a quick little peek. Like I said, each one of these links takes you to the okay. And once you get there, you can click on any one of these options to get more information about any of the pathway programs, as well as information about our visual arts. Now, head back to our open house. What I like to do is now dive into each of our departments. I want to talk a little bit to each of our departments, kind of give us a broad view of what department's about, and we'll go look at the page and check out some of the student work. So we have 9 different areas we're going to cover. We'll start with social studies, going on to English, math, and looking at the diagram, you'll see the rest. So I actually am a former social studies teacher. That's not why we're starting off with social studies, but it does help. So for all the social history teachers at Ball, if you can unmute yourself, turn your cameras on, and I will introduce you, and we'll kind of talk a little bit. We'll talk a little bit about history. All right. So first off, let's go check out the history page. So is Mr. Trevitt? If you can see Mr.
Yes,
Trevitt,
can you hear me?
Hello, how are you doing, Mr. Trevitt?
I'm doing well. How are you, Mr. Cook?
I'm all right.
Hello,
Ms.
parents
Agert.
and students.
Hello.
Hello, Ms. Agert. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. So I'm glad to see other faces.
Great.
Yeah.
Next up in the social studies department is Ms. Fry.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here.
Hello. And next up is Ms. Hamoud.
Hi, how are you guys?
Hello. And last but not least, Ms. Serrano.
How you guys doing?
I'm doing all right. All right. So history team. I'm kind of looking at your page. Like as I said, I am a former social studies teacher, so it's near and dear to my heart. What are some of the greatest surprises and successes you've had with your students kind of during this virtual time?
So I'm going to be the one taking that question.
All right.
Going into this, I was really worried that, because I'm an in-person person. I have a lot of personality. I talk with my hands. I like to know my students in person. I like for them to know me in person. I'm an in-person learner. So I was worried that we would have a difficult time having that in-person feeling online. But surprisingly, my students have really kind of blown me away, where each class has its own personality. They have a lot of their own ways of saying hello when they enter the class conference. We all know each other's personalities and jokes really well. I have one student in particular who gives us a random joke of the day every day. They have like cute ways of saying hello and goodbye, and we've kind of really come to, hi Christian, we've really come to like know each other and in the best way possible. And a lot of times, not only can I tell if they're feeling a little off just from the way they're behaving online, but I've also had students sometimes know when I'm not feeling my best and message me after class, like, are you okay? So it's become like, I've really enjoyed the little family feeling that we've come to have. Sup, Carmen?
It definitely sounds like you've built that, like, as you mentioned that, you're kind of an in-person, so that social interaction, that one-to-one, that piece. It was a challenge to transition online, but it sounds like you've done a pretty good job with your students, and your students have been responding.
I really hope so. I feel that way, so I really hope that they feel that way as well.
I don't know if any other teachers want to share their experiences transitioning online, or the kind of the successes or challenges of this new environment.
Well, it's definitely a challenge getting to know them as much as you would like to, especially since, you give them the option whether to be on camera or not. But you have bright and shining lights in every single class that show up every single day and remind us on a daily basis why we do what we do, no matter how challenging it gets.
Yeah, definitely. I hear that. I drop into classes as administrators and see it, and definitely see the challenge of trying to do the same kind of interactions and building those relationships, through these little computer boxes that we see today. That said, from your student standpoint, is there any projects or any student work that's really highlighted and you're really proud of, you want to talk about?
I would
Yes, Mr. Koo, I
yeah.
think I'll try to tackle that one. My students have shown through their talents and their learning, they did a series of projects throughout the school year. As we studied the Japanese medieval times, the students researched popular samurais, and they produced and designed 3 different digital samurai trading cards. Also, as we were studying the social classes of medieval Japan, they had to produce a digital Japanese feudal pyramid where they had to talk about the emperor, the shogun, the daimyo, the samurai, and the peasants. Also, as we were studying the Roman civilization, the students had to collaborate and analyze the 10 theories of why the Western Roman Empire fell. And once they did that, they had to produce the Fall of the Rome project. And in that project, they had to summarize in 2 sentences the 10 theories of why the Western Roman Empire fell. And they also had to insert a picture that represented each theory.
Sounds good.
I would also like to just kind of very quickly share because this year is obviously in my history class. I teach 7th grade history, and we do almost entirely project-based learning, and most of those projects are done in groups. And so I was like very daunted with what it was going to be like to try to create tables or virtual tables, and how we were going to kind of build that community. And so what we ended up doing in our class was a lot of development of how to collaborate, how to communicate in this online setting. And so we do several projects, one of which is called The Amazing African Race. And so it's kind of set up in a gamified way where students are in groups and they're racing through these challenges, competing against their classmates. And so what was really nice is that these students were going into the same small groups of 3 or 4 people every single day. And so they were having, repeated exposure to each other, becoming friends, exchanging phone numbers. I see those groups now, meeting in between classes on their own, just because they've developed relationships through our class. And they've written like incredible stories. What we like to do is kind of take what we learn in the textbook and turn it into fiction. And we do a lot of writing in our class. So it's been pretty amazing to watch them develop these relationships and communication and collaboration skills in a virtual setting.
Yeah, I'm looking at the projects right now, and everyone, you can access all these different projects on our website through the open house. We posted these. I'll check them out. There's some amazing projects in here. And
Charles,
definitely
can I make a comment really quick? Just a shout out to the history department. I've been in the classrooms visiting, and it was very fun to watch them doing these projects. So just shout out and thank you to the history department for sharing how much you've built on those relationships. And it was evident even with Ms. Hamoud and the students in the chat box now. So I know that you're all working very hard, and I know it's difficult, but I think that the history department and all of our departments have done an exceptional job building those relationships virtually and through the computer without being on site. So kudos to all of you.
Yeah. I don't know if there's any other last words from the history department. Anything else you want to share? I know one of the challenges this year is putting in the 5 C's about being collaborative, creative, kind of through virtual and online. I don't know if you want to comment on how the 5 C's have kind of shown through on these online projects and teaching online.
I think Ms. Fry pretty much took care of that on her African race.
Yes, I would definitely say it was very fun to kind of walk through, okay, how do you exchange contact information with people, and how do you coordinate schedules when you're trying to meet after class, and how do you kind of break through those barriers when you also have the screen. But tons of opportunities to develop soft skills in project-based learning, which all of our classes seem to very heavily emphasize.
All right. Well, thank you very much, History Department. You can hang out and watch the rest of your coworker teachers show off their work because they're going to try to see if we can do better. So History Department, if you could mute yourselves right now. And in fact, actually, I'll just do a full mute of everybody. Learning the Zoom takeovers. Next up is our English department. So what I'm going to do is go back to our home and house. So now let's go switch over to our English department. One of our larger departments, if we combine all the co-teachers and just the breadth of what English encompasses. We'll start off for introducing Miss Lee. Miss Lee, if you can mute, say hello.
Hi, everyone. It's Miss Lee here.
How you doing? She's the department chair. Next up, we have Miss Apollo.
Hello, Miss Apollo. I teach English 7 and ELD 1 and 2.
All right. I also have other teachers as assisting. Is Dr. Cole.
Oh, good evening.
Hello. And coming back from history, our multi-talented teacher, Miss Fry.
Hello, I teach 7th grade history, and I love also being able to see those students twice a day in English as well. So I teach 7th grade English as well.
All right, next up is Miss Gallagher. You can say hello.
Good evening. I teach 7th and 8th English and 7th and 8th history. Good evening.
Hello. Also up next is Miss Hildum.
Good evening, everyone. I teach both 7th and 8th grade honors and 7th grade regular English, and it's been an exciting year. Nice to see everyone tonight.
Definitely exciting. Miss Larson, can you say hi? Hello.
Hello. My name is Mrs. Larson, and I have the pleasure to co-teach this year with Dr. Cole. We teach both 7th and 8th grade English.
Great. Miss Pineda, you can unmute and say hello to our families.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mrs. Pineda, and I teach 7th grade English.
All right. Next up, we have Mr. Underwood.
Good evening, everybody. Mr. Underwood here. I teach 8th grade English classes, and happy to be here. Thank you for coming.
I'm so sorry. Mr. Cook, can you unmute Mr. Garza, Omar Garza, our interpreter?
Oh, no. Wow. We learned how to job here. Let me see here.
While you're doing that, I just want to say welcome to our board member, Anne Marie Randall Trejo. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. It's a pleasure to have you. And I'm glad you're here to see all the wonderful, amazing work that Ball Junior High School is doing.
Hi. Welcome, Ms. Anne Marie Trejo. Next up, we have 2 more teachers. We have a big English department. Ms. Villegas.
Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Ms. Villegas, and I am super fortunate to be co-teaching with Ms. Lee this year. We co-teach honors 7th and 8th grade.
And last but not least, Mr. Woolridge.
Good evening, everybody. Yes, I'm Mr. Woolridge. I teach a special day class for 7th and 8th graders in the LHS program. And I teach not only English, but all subjects.
All right, thank you. That's a large English department, and it's mostly because a lot of our teachers do a little bit of teaching in whatever their specialties and special programs are in. So English department, what would you say are some of the greatest surprises and successes you've seen on the online world with your students?
Well, I was noticing, this is Mrs. Tildum. I was noticing that the kids are so sweet. They really help each other out. When one student is stuck, they'll put in the chat, oh, here's the link, go here. And I don't even have to ask. And I just found that really refreshing and really sweet, the way the kids really help each other out. And I've just noticed a lot of that. Also, like Ms. Hamoud said earlier, the sense of humor that comes through our students, they crack me up. I don't know what it is. I think after lunch, everybody's had food and they just crack me up. And usually when we're in person, that's the time of day when everybody's like, oh, can I just have a nap? I'm tired, you know? And for some reason online, it's just the opposite. Everybody's raring to go with a good joke or something silly to say, and it makes for nice community in the classroom. So I've been noticing some of those bright spots.
All right. Knowing some, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I will be very fast. I just wanted to share that, you know, one of the surprises for me has, and one of the most refreshing parts of teaching online has truly just been the resilience of our students. They come to class, and I think we are all struggling right now, you know, at some level. And every day they come to class, and you can tell that they're making the most of the situation. They're trying to thrive, they're learning, they're participating, and you know, we really have all grown, and learning is happening. And that has been, I think, one of the biggest surprises, is that I think we were all worried that was going to stop, but it truly hasn't.
I think that's that is a great reminder that sometimes we underestimate you know, the strength of the students that we do have. Sometimes there are support systems, right? They're the ones pushing through and pulling us through, and they're inspiring us based on their work and what they're doing in the classroom. I don't know if any other English teachers want to kind of contribute about what are some of those surprises and successes you've seen with your students.
Yes, I would like to actually add on to what Ms. Rye mentioned about the resilience. We've noticed, Dr. Cole and I have noticed that these students have also become more resourceful learners. Typically in a normal school setting, once it's after school hours, we don't really hear from our students. But since we're virtual, as soon as we're done with our virtual classes, the students are emailing us, asking questions, trying to get help with assignments. And so they're just self-advocating for themselves, which is a great skill that they're going to be utilizing once they enter high school and college. And so it's great to see that just already developing right now.
So as I'm doing with social studies, I'm kind of looking at all the student work. It's amazing work that I'm looking at. You know, who knew a lot of students can take it, you know, be so technologically advanced. If any teachers want to kind of highlight or talk about some of these student showcase pieces.
That's me. So my name is Miss Apollo. Again, I teach 7th grade English, ELD 1, ELD 2. And some of the projects, well, like Mrs. Fry was saying with history, also with English, we're really heavy on projects. You know, we do a lot of project-based learning. And so this year with English, it's just been, and this is a testament to their resilience, right? Like all these projects that we're doing, but they're doing it and they're doing it well. And so last semester for the fall, my classes wrote short stories, so short fictional stories. And with that, they were able to demonstrate that, yes, they know the structure of a story. They know all of the different elements of a story. They know how to use dialogue correctly, and not just correctly, but effectively, right? They were able to use dialogue to propel the story. And they were able to use suspense, you know, and they used it well. And they did a really good job on that. And with that, not only just the technical stuff, but they also learned how to allow themselves to let their personality show in their writing. And that writing it's not a daunting task, but that it's something that allows you to kind of feel more yourself and more free. And so I was able to read their short stories and learn more about them through those short stories. And because they were able to pick their own genre, some of them wrote horror stories, some of them wrote adventure stories, some of them wrote stories with really deep messages, you know, about society and about life. So it was just really interesting just to see that diversity and that, you know, that variety in their writing and just their unique style. And then this semester, we've been working on soapbox speeches. And this is in both English and in ELD too. But with that, they did their own research. First, they picked their own topic. And that topic is something that they're very passionate about. It could be an environmental issue, a health issue, a political issue, anything, a social issue, but it was an issue that they themselves were genuinely interested in and passionate about. And so they did the research, they did the hard work, and then they wrote speeches, formal speeches about this topic, explaining what should be done to resolve the issue. So we're working on that right now. Right now we're putting together our videos, delivering our speeches. But with that, as the teacher, again, I get to see their personalities come through. I get to, we're not face to face. And so teaching this way is a challenge because I'm so used to, just like Ms. Hamoud said earlier, I'm so used to being with the students and just feeding off of their energy. And this is very different, but I'm still able to learn about my students. And, there is that time to humanize education, through these projects. So I really appreciate, the work that they're putting in. Some, huge hearts. Our students have huge hearts, and you can see that with the projects that they've been putting together this year.
All right, thank you, Ms. Apollo. That's a great thing you're talking about how the students who really can find their voice, especially kind of when they're stuck at home and have to interact through miles and miles and just do it all electronically. I mean, I'm reading this essay. I'm very scared of Kevin right now. Very scared. So I wish I could spend some more time. I know there's an awesome project that the English department is doing in conjunction with some of the other departments called the Soapbox Speeches. But it is now time to go over to our math department. So if you are in English, I thank you very much, and I invite you to mute yourselves. Good job, English. And I'll introduce our math department. We're going to start off with introductions with our math department chair, Miss Palomino. That's all right. Ms. Palomino serves as our department chair for math, as well as our MTSS coordinator. She also helps with interventions with the students, and also serves as a mentor, to a lot of our students as well. She's kind of a multi-talented staff member. I next want to introduce Mr. Abu Hadwan. If you're having trouble, you might need to unmute yourselves. Let me set that up.
Hi, sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Ms. Palomino. Yes, I teach 8th grade math here. Sorry about that.
No worries. So thank you, Ms. Abu Hadwan, Mr. Abu Hadwan.
Hi, welcome. I teach 8th grade math.
Right, great. Next up, we have Miss Christine.
Hi, I'm Miss Christine. I co-teach Math 8 and Math 8 Honors.
Great. Thank you very much, Miss Hose.
My name is Ms. Hose, and I teach Math 7 here at Ball, as well as Design Tech.
Design Tech. I hope we talk about that a little bit more. Mr. Ortega.
Hello, I'm Mr. Ortega. I teach 7th and 8th grade math.
Hey, welcome. Thank you for coming. Mr. Pham. Mr. Pham is one of our teachers. He also, as well as teaching math, he also teaches our MESA, our engineering.
Thank you, Mr. Q. Yes.
There you are.
I teach together with Miss Vegas, 7th grade math.
All right. A couple more members of our math department. Miss Pineda.
Oh, again, I teach SDC 7th and 8th grade math.
Hi, good evening. Miss Stockman.
Hi, I'm Miss Stockman. I teach 7th and 8th grade math.
All right. Miss Trevitt.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Trevitt. I teach 8th grade math.
All right, welcome. And finally, Mr. Yoon.
Hello, my name is Mr. Yoon. I teach both 7th and 8th grade math.
Great to see the whole math department here. Fun fact, I taught geometry one time in summer school, and I only did it once. That's pretty much it. Just one time in summer school geometry. All right. So looking at the math department, you got a lot of stuff going on. Is there any things that have kind of amazed you and really surprised you teaching math online instead of in person?
I'll start. This is Ms. Palomino. One thing that I really found that was great was we use Nearpod in the class. And, when you're in the classroom walking around, looking at the kids' work, you're really able to watch them work, and transitioning to online, you had to figure out, right, how we're going to watch them work. So doing Nearpod with the students, you're able to quickly give them feedback. It's them actually working on the problems. If you right away see a mistake or they're not working on it properly, you can pull them back and do quick reteaching. So it actually has been a plus for a lot of the students in their growth within the mathematical skills virtually. So I feel like that's a big plus.
I'll go. By the way,
Mr.
I'm Gus
Fieldhouse. I apologize, Mr. Fieldhouse. My apologies, Mr.
That's
Fieldhouse.
okay, Mr. Koo. I thought I was going to slip under your radar there. Yeah, I'm Gus Fieldhouse. I teach 7th grade math. And yeah, a lot of things have impressed me about my students this year, starting with how polite they are. They, right away when they start getting on, they say good morning or good afternoon, if whatever the case may be. And then a lot of them, they say goodbye, have a nice day, whether it be out loud or in the chat. So I'm very pleased with that. And there's a lot of them that, in this difficult time with our virtual, distance learning, they've stepped up to the plate. I have a degree in mathematics. I've been teaching math at Ball for this is my 25th year now. And I like to think I'm pretty smart, but sometimes I kind of get lost in my lessons, and the students, there's a few of them that can kind of bring me back and help me figure out how to do the problems. And there's a lot of times I'm really impressed. I think somebody else said this, how they encourage each other. Like I try to get them to read like the word problems out loud. And sometimes it's kind of like pulling teeth to get them to do that. There's a few that are always volunteering. Then I try to get new people too, and there's people that are kind of shy, and sometimes they kind of stumble over some of the words. And when they're done reading, the other kids are typing in the chat what a great job they did, and things like that. So I'm really happy with how they are with each other. And Mr. Koo, like you said, they often inspire us to do a better job. And like Ms. Apollo, one of our English teachers, said, it's a testament to their resilience. And a lot of times I think it's not so much my teaching, it's how awesome they are as students.
Yeah, I think, right, every day you kind of get surprised by some of our students, because I think a lot of the discussion is around how all these challenges and how hard it is for some students. But we also have to acknowledge that some of our students are thriving under this environment, right? They are getting this opportunity to show their skills off electronically through the internet, or just being in a safe space online. Some of students thrive in that area, so just want to acknowledge that. I do want to ask any other teachers anything. I'm looking at this showcase. I don't know if the teachers from the math department want to talk about some of these pieces in the showcase. Solve Me mobiles, Mathia, Desmos, these other online tools.
Sure, I'll go ahead and jump in. So on this slide deck, we just wanted to show some of the amazing things that your students are doing and how they're interacting with the math content. I know lots of parents seem to think that math must be done with pencil and paper, right? And that's definitely how we experienced it growing up. But our technology is amazing, and we're so grateful that the kids all have Chromebooks, and it's just, it's been amazing to watch their skills develop. Like many of the other teachers have said, how their skills have developed in the technology, but also how we are able to use that technology to help skills grow, and to see their thinking, and to see their creativity, and to see the way that they are able to think and design and be creative and all those other things. It's just been really fantastic, and we're so excited and we're so proud of what they've been able to do for our department.
And to piggyback on that, I think one of the most important things from especially our honors 7 class and even just our 7th grade math class with Miss Hose is that we want them to think creatively outside of the box. We want them to become mathematicians. We want them to problem solve, to come up with their own solution. And I think especially like in the honors format, a lot of times kids are like, well, what's the right answer? What's the right answer? And we force them to find an answer that could or could not be the right answer. How do you defend that answer through your work and through what you have done?
And we as a department really understand math is traditionally a difficult course, and we know that. So we've really focused on applying math to the real world, like just calculating discounts, doing taxes, counting calories. A part of that is building a safe, secure, and comfortable space. And if we have that, call me crazy, but a math class can be fun. Engagement is super important to us. You can see a lot of examples on the page Mr. Koo showing us. Ms. Villegas, who co-teaches me, can expand a lot more on how we approach engagement.
Yeah, so kind of touching base on what Mr. Pham was saying, engagement is huge for us. Like we want our kids to participate. So we integrate a lot of things like Doug from Up. We are always telling our kiddos to be more dog. And so this has really allowed our class to really be a community rather than, like just another class I got to go to. And so engagement is a huge focus for us along with supports. And so teaching virtually, there are a lot of challenges, but I mean, Desmos, Nearpod, like we have a ton of different platforms that have a lot of these integrated supports. We offer office hours for our kids, and I know they like us because they attend. So those are a few of the things that we do.
Well, you do some interesting stuff in your class. I'm looking at some of these samples of this carpool karaoke, the office, and I've been in those classes with all the different tools, and it is pretty amazing. All the online tools you do offer in the math department, because I kind of come in and I ask the students, hey, what are you guys doing? Oh, we're doing XYZ in 1, 2, 3. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but I bet you do. So it is really amazing to see all the tools and how you're kind of transitioning, using these things to engage students. So that's great. We'd love to talk with you more.
Mr.
But
Koo, wait, hold on. I have one. Sorry, I want to chime in because I missed the English one before we went to math, but I just wanted to shout out to English, working with science, doing those soapbox. I know you guys are working really hard and the kids are super excited about their topics and what they're doing. And so it's really fun to watch that when I've popped in classrooms. And also I wanted to reiterate the math teams working with math and doing this math, even virtually, keeping the kids engaged on the various platforms, but also really engaging them with real life situations that involve math. So that's been fun to watch as well.
Mr. Pham's having a good time. All right. Thank you, math departments. Continue doing great work. If I can ask you all to mute, and we're going to move on to the next department in Ball, and that is the science department. So if you're in the science department, I invite you to turn on your cameras, wave hi, unmute, and I will start by introducing their science department chair, Miss Vu.
Hi, everyone. Good evening.
How you doing? I didn't know you're in the mountaintops. That's awesome.
Oh, yes.
Following Miss Vu, we have Miss Barekian.
So I will take you from the mountaintops to Death Valley. Barekian, I teach 8th grade science.
Welcome. Next up is Miss Johnson. Let's see where Miss Johnson is.
Hi, everybody. I'm Miss Johnson. I teach 7th grade science, and I also teach health.
Thank you very much. Again, multi-talented teacher. Next up is Miss Malmberg.
Hi, Miss Malmberg here, 7th grade science and also honor science.
Great. Also joining, again, multi-subject teacher, Miss Pineda.
Hello again, 7th and 8th grade science, Stacy.
All right. And our final member of the science department is Mr. Poggio.
That's me, 7th grade science, Ball Junior High student, alum, and teacher.
Great. Well, I do want to ask one question to the science team because you probably encompass a lot of this because you do with science, you have to integrate so many different things. You have to do some reading with the students, some math with the students, and then again, get down to the nitty gritty of science itself. How do you kind of incorporate the 5 C's into your projects, into your coursework? And then how is that shown by your students in online platforms?
All right, Mr. Cool, I'll jump on this one. When it comes to the 5 C's, a lot of times that parallels this thinking in science that we call the 5E model, engaging, exploring, explanation, elaboration, and evaluating. And I know in 7th grade science, engaging is pretty fun. That's the phenomenon portion. And a lot of times we try to bring in our own lives, our own experiences. And things that we've done, in places and travel. So that's really fun. And then letting students explore, and maybe that exploring is on Gizmo. We've had really fun time with that platform. I've had students be a park ranger trying to identify species that are having trouble because of other invasive species and other environmental factors, figuring out if gold coins are real or fake and a physical change. Gizmo, and even geology, and looking at Pangea and Wagner's this theory this guy made about plate tectonics a couple 100 years ago. So that's really fun with the Explorer model. And then with the explanation and the elaborating, that's where our students get to engage with us with Google assignments, being able to explain their exploration that they've done, maybe in topography from the bottom of the ocean in our oil rigs project. Maybe it is with Google Earth, looking around for the best place in the world to put a water tower, because there's a lot of places in the world that could benefit from what we learned with the infrastructure and the working of water, fresh water specifically, in not just our own community, but around the world. And then lastly, evaluating. And that's really us on the teacher end. I know we've had a lot of fun recently with water towers. Building one, I asked students in 7th grade, had the chance to ask students to build their tallest tower out of materials. So thanks again for students picking that up, and parents. I enjoyed that one.
That was fun. I know you showed me some pictures. I'm not sure if I got a chance to put any up, but they were making water towers out of golf balls and straws.
Yeah, there was straws. I believe it was 50 straws, 50 pipe cleaners, and 25 paper clips. And who could hold a golf ball the highest? And that's, again, part of this whole idea of engineering process, design. I hate saying it, but I really enjoy hearing students, and they're like, oh, this is bothering me. I need to do something. I need to change what I was doing. And that's all part of the process of scientific thinking that we're looking for.
All right, great. And you did submit this. This is just one of the tools that we do offer, Flipgrid, where students get to record a recording of them. It could be a speech, or in this case, a demonstration of the water tower. So if you do go to our open house website and you go over to the science department, near the bottom of the page, you'll need a password to get in, but it's listed right there for guests. And we can check out the water tower challenge. And you can see this. Oh, here's a sample. Can you talk about what is this, Mr. Poggio?
Well, that's an example of a water tower. Obviously, with the pandemic and everything, we were just being very sensitive all around. And the idea was, yeah, it'd be great if you could come grab supplies. We set you up with supplies, but it really doesn't matter. Hopefully there's stuff at home. Maybe it's popsicle sticks. I know Amazon boxes are usually all over the place nowadays, but we were just looking at students going through that struggle of engineering and design. So yeah, we had specific parameters, but we were obviously open to any such tools to be able to build the tallest tower.
And I can see all the different designs that the students built, leaning tower of golf balls to just these straight up ones. These are pretty amazing projects of the kids. Oh, wow, this one's almost halfway up the door. So again, you can go to our website and check that out. And they pop in the passwords, one of the projects, Mr. Poggio.
Those look great, Mr. Poggio.
Yeah.
Those are great projects.
So I guess at a science team, any other surprises, successes that you've met with your students in science?
I'm Ms. Fu. I teach 8th grade science. I'll take this question. The greatest surprise that I found that students' 21st century skills has improved tremendously. so very much that they can easily navigate to many educational programs, apps, platform. They're able to be self-learners and help their peers troubleshoot their technology challenges, and also taught me a great deal of how to troubleshoot my technology. So I'm super proud of them, and their 21st century skill is skyrocket since the pandemic.
Oh, so can you tell us a little bit?
Anybody want to add to that?
Oh, I
What
want to
are
ask
those
a question.
projects? Can I
Yeah, I
ask
want to
what,
ask
yeah,
about
what are
those.
those projects in the background? Did they build those at
Yes,
home? Those are
yes,
awesome.
eighth grade science. Correct. Eighth grade science, we do engineering for roller coaster because we learn about force, motion, all the physics, the basic physics. So they actually found anything that they can find around their house, and be able to build a roller coaster for us. There are some amazing things that they did. If you look at the second slide on this PowerPoint, when you get there, there are some students who actually video record themselves demonstrating the project. So I think it's the link on the second slide. So there's a few examples of the projects that they did at home, and they do a demonstration of their own project.
That's awesome. It's creativity at its
Right
best.
there.
Yeah.
Thank you, science
Yes,
team, for helping our
yes.
students show
I
their
also want to add
creativity. That's awesome.
Yeah,
just the fact of, coming up with projects that you can, deal with the constraint of having students being stuck at home, but still being able to learn all these advanced concepts, like you mentioned, like motion and I'm guessing velocity and whatnot, and just construction as well, finding and being, creative enough to find all these little pieces. I've looked at these and looking at these projects, not any of these projects look any similar to each other, right? They're just finding all the tools and everything in their house that can build and demonstrate kind of the concepts you're teaching. And so, yeah, that is
I'm super
pretty
proud
amazing.
of them, how they can find all these supplies just to do this wonderful roller coaster that they did. And I've seen so many different ways that they can measure potential or kinetic energy. It's just amazing. They use the wall, they use popsicle sticks, they use anything they found. And I am super impressed.
Yeah. Well, any last words from the science department about anything else?
Hi, I'm Miss Johnson. I just want to talk a little bit about some projects that we had. Obviously, since we can't be in person with the students, doing experiments is off the table. But we are very lucky that our district bought a program called Gizmos, and it allows our students to do all of the things that we would do in the classroom, but virtually. So they can mix chemicals together and see the reactions. They can take temperatures of things. So it was a really great program that we've used a lot to help get that, experimentation back with the kids. In 7th grade, we also did an African savanna food web and food chain. All of us did it with our students. And it was a really great interactive, kind of like an assessment piece where the students showed us their knowledge after learning about food webs and food chains for several weeks. And currently my kiddos are doing a group project. I'm really excited to see it. They're presenting tomorrow and the next day on natural disasters and events that have happened in history. So I'm excited to see that.
It definitely takes a science teacher to find natural disasters fascinating, right?
That's right.
All
a little
right.
bit morbid, but it's really exciting.
Yeah. But I'm sure the students find it exciting as well, right? They like seeing what all this stuff on paper actually looks like in the real world.
Yes, they're very excited about it.
All right. Well, thanks, Ms. Johnson, and thank you all the science team. We'll pause this really quick. Thank you. So science team, if you want to mute yourselves. We're now going to move over to one of the more globally aware and very important subjects we have at Ball Junior High School, and that is world languages. There's other ways of putting it called LOTE. You might see that abbreviation when you get to high school or other areas. It's languages other than English, but in world languages. So if I can have Miss Flores Smith kind of unmute and say hello. Hi, how are you doing, Flores Smith?
I'm Miss Flores Smith, and I teach Spanish and Spanish 1 and 2 for Spanish speakers.
Great. Can you start off and just kind of tell us a little bit about the differences in all different levels, coming from some that might be new to the structure of how Spanish is set up?
Oh, yes. Spanish 1 for 8th graders is offered for 8th graders, and then they have they kind of get their feet wet in the water, then it's for non-speakers. So then they learn the basics of the language, and they have the opportunity to have Spanish now and don't go, all.
Oh, no. Seems like we're having a little bit of technical delay with Miss Flores Smith.
Speakers, that's an opportunity too for the syllable literacy. The students in 7th and 8th grade, they can have Spanish for Spanish speakers 1, and they can continue and advance, and they go to Spanish for Spanish speakers 2, which is the next level. And then when they finish those 2 levels, they go to Spanish for Spanish speakers 3 at high school level. And then that way they work their way to get their syllable literacy at high school.
Yeah, I really like the continuity, right? If you start in a Spanish level 1, you can see that long-term progression up into the high school. So you can see the work you're doing now really carries over. It benefits you when you get to high school.
Yes.
What's one, I want to give you a little bit of time, but what's one major surprise you've had and you faced with your students? What's something that surprised you?
Well, what I'm really surprised and thankful at the same time is that, I've been finding a lot of opportunities for written and oral communication. Plus, I feel like I'm more connected with the students and with the parents also, because, since we have the classes at home, so then I often ask the students to ask their parents to help them with the projects or things that we do. And I'm really, really thankful, surprised, and I'm going to take the opportunity to say thank you to the parents, because they do help them. They are another teachers at home for them, so they're helping. And we are like a big team now, collaborating. It's easier now for, I guess, for most of the parents, because now they understand what we're doing, and it's easier for them to see it maybe at home. I have no clear idea how it's working, but it's really, really working. And I'm so thankful to have this, communication, written and oral. And the students are having more opportunities to read, to write, and then to speak Spanish now. So then I feel like it's a little bit, impressive, and I'm so surprised, and I'm so happy and thankful for the opportunity. I guess not all is bad with the technology. There are some things that are good, and in this case is the communication.
Yeah, so that's awesome to hear. I am grateful. The students are doing and thriving within the world languages in Spanish. Thank you, Ms. Flores Smith, for your time. Enjoy the rest of your teachers hearing up, because next up we're going to hear from the visual and performing arts team. So if I can have Miss Leon unmute and introduce yourself.
Hi, Emilia Leon. I am the art teacher here at Ball.
Hello, and Mr. Kraus.
Hi, I'm Mr. Kraus. I teach instrumental music.
Great, thank you. And Miss Montgomery.
Hi, I am Mrs. Montgomery, also known as Monty, and I am the drama director here at Ball.
Thank you. And last but not least, Miss Welling.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Welling. I'm the choir teacher here at Ball Junior High.
All right. Well, thank you. I'm going to get down to your page, the visual and performing arts. I want to again highlight the fact that we do have this pathway. So if your students start with these 4 amazing teachers, they can continue on and kind of find a career in the visual performing arts if they would wish. Can you kind of talk to us about some of your greatest successes and the things that really made you proud with your students during this time? I imagine there's lots of opportunities for students to shine in this environment.
Oh, most definitely. I think, like Ms. Hamoud was saying earlier, my biggest concern was creating a sense of community in this online setting, trying to figure out how to make, a family feeling, which is very much what my classes are generally in person. And so I think the biggest surprise is that I've been able to do that virtually. So all of my classes, we're very much a family. We joke around, we have a lot of fun creating things. I think that was probably the biggest surprise. I am fortunate also because I do have one class that I had last year. So it's kind of like hanging out with, 35 of your best friends because we know each other. And so it's just it's a different way of communicating with them, but we're very much present. So I think that really inspired me to hopefully, create the sense of family in my other classes. And I'm happy to say that I'm still able to mentor my kids. We have breakfast parties last semester in period 2. And I've really, I felt like I've made some really good connections with my students, and I'm really happy about that.
That's awesome. I remember at our showcase evening, a parent asked about—
Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
One thing. Oh, hello there. One parent asked about, what are some major strengths at Ball? And even for me coming in new, one of the things I noted that, our teachers really build a strong community of relationships and trust within their classrooms. That's something that's highlighted in, I see with a lot of students, that I do interact with. So it's pretty amazing. In terms of the 5 C's, how do you see the 5 C's being shown in your classes with choir, with band, with drama?
I'll go ahead and take that question. And I think the visual and performing arts, the 5 C's are embedded regardless of how we are presenting our work, how we are working with our students. We're very fortunate that in almost every assignment that we do, we can pretty much hit every single one of those 5 C's. So it's really cool. I think one thing other than, creativity, that's just a given. We are working on creativity and imagination and growing those soft skills that include the creativity to help our students be better creators with everything they do. But I want to speak to the one of character. The arts bring empathy. And so it's not just caring about me, it's caring about everyone else. And specifically in theater, we have the mentality that anyone and everyone can do theater, and all you have to do is try. And that thing, I think, is key to the arts program here at Ball and also at Loera, because in case anyone didn't know, I also teach theater at Loera. So I get to see the students really grow and improve, and actually in all areas. But that empathy and that caring, which we've heard time and time again from other teachers, not only for themselves, but for the teachers. I love when kids are like, "Are you okay?" Yeah, I'm doing well. Or, "Hey, I really enjoyed that." But caring for each other and helping each other out and being the strength for others in the classroom. And, I'm seeing it outside of the classroom as well, which I think is absolutely amazing.
I can agree with Monty more about that stuff, about the surprise of how caring the kids are to each other and to me. I'm sure they're like that in each class, but like Monty said, in the arts, we ask them to communicate things that words sometimes can't, and we do it through project-based learning constantly. Would have on a regular year already have completed many projects like field trips and concerts. So it's a challenge this year. It absolutely is. But there are some kids who are thriving. We have done some virtual concerts. Ms. Willing has been really successful at that.
Thank you, Mr. Krause. I appreciate the handoff. Yes, we have definitely been producing sing virtual choirs. You saw a couple of those videos from our fall virtual concert, which all of those songs were chosen by students. They all got to do a whole playlist of oldies that were there. First, they got to choose what kind of music they wanted to sing for our fall concert. And then they got to choose the songs, and they just gave me this huge playlist, and we listened to all these awesome songs and bonded over the music, and it was so much fun. And then we finally voted and came down to one song for each group to sing for our virtual concert. Advanced choir sang Ain't No Mountain High Enough, and intermediate choir sang Build Me a Buttercup, and you heard mixed chorus sing Three Little Birds. Every little thing's going to be all right is a great message too. What we need to hear right now. And, you know, I'm trying to connect with the kids the message of music, which can be very powerful and can help get us through what we're going through right now. And it absolutely has. And I've been so thankful for the response from the students and the number of students that have participated in our virtual choir projects. I could not be more proud and happy. And this semester, we've been celebrating the students' individual heritages, which has been really awesome. It's been amazing to hear about and listen to music from different parts of the world where these students and their families are from and where they come from and what their history and heritage really is. And we get to celebrate that in our upcoming spring virtual concert, which will probably be sometime in May. So we're working on those songs right now. And again, every single student shared, they got to share a song that was part of their personal heritage. And it was just so awesome. And it was worth the time that we took to listen to all of those songs and to explore everyone's heritage. And then we're going to make a concert out of it. So it's going to be really
That sounds great. And I remember,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I want to shout out to the VAPA department. I have to say that kids do definitely get inspired and just engaged in your classes. And I know that karaoke club they love to go to, and they love to play the games in the band. They love the art when Miss Leone is drawing for them and having those conversations, and you'll chime in, you'll pop into the classes and they'll just be talking and having a great time. So it is a really great, those are great classes to see the kids connect and just feel a part of a class where they're just connected and enjoying what they're doing. So thank you.
Yeah, and if you do go to the website under the VAPA, Visual Performing Arts, you'll see all the different electives here from art, band, choir, and choir. I've also linked a YouTube page. The choir does have a YouTube link with the choir concert from the fall, the singing. Hold on, my windows are blocking it. Singing through COVID-19 because it's Southern California. It never rains here.
Right?
So, yeah.
We had a concert.
Right. All right. Thank you, VAPA, very much. Have a great night. Thank you for sharing. And now, if I can ask for our next department, AVID, Advancement via Individual Determination, with Mr. Valeriano. Can I have you on mute and say hello?
Hi, everybody. I'm Mr. Valeriano. Those of you parents that have had other kids at Ball, I've been at Ball. This is year number 7 for me, but this is my first year as a teacher at Ball because I was the assistant principal for many years. But I was really excited to be involved with AVID, and I've been involved with AVID for their national office for 22 years. I've actually worked for them. That's my second job. And I train teachers on how to run this program. And I started doing this program 23 years ago in the city of Norwalk, and have been doing it for a number of years. And I really firmly believe in the program. The program talks about or pushes or encourages kids just to think 4-year college, 4-year college, 4-year college, 4-year college, and to be ready for that 4-year college starting now and not wait till it's too late. So I teach 3 sets of classes. I teach the regular general AVID elective for 7th grade and then for 8th grade. And then I teach one called AVID Excel, which is the same thing as a regular elective, except all those students are second language learners. So I emphasize more and give more help with reading comprehension and writing, those types of skills that a second language learner would probably need a little bit more of, a little more assistance in. And then I teach something called Avid Awareness, which is a quarter class on the wheel. And it's just to make kids aware, they get a brief taste of what we do in Avid. So if they want to decide, the next year, maybe I want to apply to be in this class for the whole year. And in the class, basically it functions, we're on a different schedule now that we're virtual, but normally when we're face-to-face, 2 days out of the week, the students have what's called Avid tutorials. We hire college students to work with our kids in small groups to help them with work or concepts they don't understand, or to reinforce concepts. And then the other 2 days we're working on what I call Avid curriculum, learning about colleges and vocabulary for colleges and writing skills and reading comprehension and debates and things like that. And then there's the 5th day of the week, which my students enjoy, especially I think virtually. This is what we do, whether it's a field trip, and we just did our first field trip this last Friday. It's a virtual field trip. But we visited Whittier College and the University of Copenhagen, which are 2 universities that I attended. And we do field trips, we have guest speakers, and we also do virtual games, which is a lot of fun. Somebody had mentioned about like the 5 C's, and the 5 C's with Avid, they're already incorporated in there. And that's part of what Avid is all about, teaching students about communication, teaching them about character, all the same things that our district is working on already embedded in the Avid program. And I just have a great time doing it. I'm getting to know my students a lot more as the year progresses, and I've seen the progression. I'm seeing kids do better in school, or at least be more aware of, more concerned. I see them, how they care for each other and they care for me. Recently, because I just share with my students so they understand what's happening. My wife was affected by COVID and was hospitalized for a couple of weeks, pretty serious. And so I shared that with the students, and I can't tell you how many emails I got from students concerned about my wife and checking on her and checking on me, which is really nice to see. And I just think that's the environment that we've created in that class together as a whole group. But my class is basically to give them skills to do better in school, to hopefully someday choose to go on to a 4-year college.
That is great. I know that I've spoken to some students that weren't necessarily familiar with Avid, but knew, they kind of down the line, they did want to get to college, but didn't necessarily have the resources or the background knowledge about it. And Avid has been a great resource for those students. Any major surprises you've seen with some of your Avid students throughout this year?
Yeah, without mentioning any names, I had one student that had a difficult time in the first quarter, probably the first 2 quarters, the first semester of school. But this student made such big progressions to what I see them at now, and not just on attendance and participation and doing the work, just their overall, I think, attitude. And that's been really nice to see the progression in students. I love to see some of my big surprises. We do Avid tutorials. They're done on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1:30 with the college tutors. And I love to see kids come in there. And when they get help with stuff, it's almost like you can feel that load being taken off of some of these students who didn't know how to do something, or were just having a difficult time getting something completed, and they got help with it with a college tutor. And that's one of my favorite things to see, is that our kids actually going out of the way outside of class to get some extra help on something. And when you see that, and you see how much they actually care about school and their education, it's really nice.
Yeah, when you give them that opportunity, a gentle nudge, right?
Yes.
When you start feeling with that language that you are going to college, you are going to pursue more after high school. It starts kind of feeding them, and they start believing in themselves. Well, thank you, Mr. Valeriano, for everything that you do.
Mr. Valeriano, I also want to say thank you for taking them on the college tour, and I think that you're doing a great job teaching them questioning skills and study skills and things that they're going to need. So I know they appreciate it, and they do enjoy your games too.
We have a good time together, and that's the one thing I appreciate. I miss, as an administrator, I'd miss being in the classroom. So I'm really happy to be back in the classroom. It brings back a lot of memories as to why I started in education, and so it really warmed my heart this year. And I can't wait till next year when we're face to face and we can actually see each other and what our faces look like.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Valeriano. I'm going to move on to our next department. It's one of our elected programs. It's a very vital program. If I can ask Mr. Mundy to introduce himself as chair of the CTE, of the Career Technical Education.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for hanging out still. I'm Mr. Mundy. I've been here a long time and enjoy teaching your children, having a great year.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Mundy. Next up, I want to introduce Ms. Chang. Buddy, just want to make sure we mute the appropriate people. All right. Again, Ms. Chang, if you can introduce yourself, say hello.
Hello, I'm Mrs. Cheng, and I just love being here with my baby Yoda in the background, cheering everybody on.
Thank you, baby. Good job. I do well in your training, baby Yoda. Miss Hose from Math Department, you're also part of CTE equals classes.
Yeah, I am Miss Hose again, and I teach in math, and then I teach the Design Tech Essentials of Technology class here.
Great, thank you. And another teacher from the department, Mr. Pham. I mentioned before that he also teaches the Mesa Explored program. Is here. So we'll kind of start off with the CT department. What are some of the highlights that you've seen with your program? I imagine transitioning from a lot of these hands-on activities that we do traditionally in the class has kind of been of a challenge to transition online and at home.
Sure, I'll go ahead. And since our department is very different, right? Like I'm teaching coding and multimedia and business tech and yearbook. So we're going to kind of talk to each question. And so some of my greatest surprises and successes have been this year that the kids have really done well. And I've been able to get through a lot of the curriculum. So they haven't been deprived of the important information. And so, they've really risen to the challenge. And when you have high expectations, they just did awesome for me. So it's been a joy to have your children here in my class.
That's awesome. Any particular projects that were like, just say, great job, everybody? Any projects you've seen for your classes?
They did really good. And I have a animation project they're doing. If you've seen the stick figure wars, they're starting to do stick figures, and they are just amazing. They're so much better than me. Like, oh my
Start
gosh,
teaching you
to
now.
teach me how to do this, because they're just wonderful. They've risen to that challenge and really excelled past me.
That's awesome. Any other, how some of the other classes transition to the kind of virtual at-home online environment?
So I'll chip in, and I think one of the benefits that online learning has allowed is that we were able to explore the world of binging with Babish and food labs that star Kenji Lopez, and all the creativity in the food that is available that actually I never dwelled in until online learning. And I think this just allowed us to explore so many differences. And I think the best showcase was evident when a 80 potato challenge, and some of the kids were, what they could do with a simple side dish and present it with their family, and the creativity of making the side dish the star of the meal for their family. And I saw from pictures from baked potato, mashed potato, and then some elevated it to the Yukon Gold potato gratin. And I think discovering just the varieties of potatoes that we have was eye-opening, because we tried so many different things that, yeah, it was really allowing kids to be independent learners and develop the critical thinking that they needed to analyze a recipe, work with their family, and explore. These things were just wouldn't have been possible actually without all the things that we have learned together, creating food challenges, and taking into it that this semester we are also coupling our learning with life skills, and our current unit is beginning to talk about budgeting and finance, so that we can think about the opportunities for entrepreneurship in the business world surrounding with food. And our last challenge would be a food truck, and coming up with a business concept that would develop a product that they can produce and sell, and think through all the financial impacts of running a business.
Yeah, and I know that you've submitted some of these photos that some of your students have taken while they're kind of cooking and learning all these skills at home.
Yes, you know, that's the exciting part, to teach knife skills, teach different things from video, and having them practice and developing, I think, actually more opportunities than sometimes in a class with 40 kids. So
yeah. So again, you can check out our open house website. If you go to our website, our school open house, and you'll check out all the different departments and little slice of what everyone is doing in the class. You'll see some slides with some projects, some videos. We got a little bit of everything from all our departments.
I have a question.
I'm sorry. We'll have set up questions at the end, if that's okay. If you don't mind, we're actually having one last department going. So thank you, CTE, Career Technical Education, for kind of making our future leaders and finding their passion. All right. And if we can move on to our last department, one of the more important departments to get us in shape, to make us survive this pandemic, is our physical education. If I can invite the physical education department to come on down, led by the department chair, Mr. Goronsky.
Hello, nice to see all of you.
Hi, and you're up late shooting hoops at the gym?
Yes, I am. You won't find me on the camera though.
Oh, all right. Next up, do a teacher for us, Miss Look.
Good evening. I'm Miss Look, and I am a long-term physical education teacher, teaching both 7th and 8th grade.
Great, thank you. Thanks for joining us. And also Miss Westling.
Good evening. I'm Mrs. Westling, and I teach 7th grade physical education at Ball, and this is my 6th year teaching at Ball Junior High.
Thank you very much. We are so blessed and happy to have an awesome PE department. I do want to mention one thing. I think Ms. Hammer wants Principal Hammer wanted to mention something.
Yes, I want to take a moment just to acknowledge and appreciate Mr. Aldine, who unfortunately we lost this year. And so I just want to say thank you to him and the work that he did and the connections he made with students and with staff. He was an amazing man, very kind-hearted, kind human being, and we miss him. The students miss him. We all miss him. And so I just wanted to take a moment to recognize him and say thank you for his dedication to Ball Junior High School and the students and staff here. And thank you to Miss Look for coming in and helping us out for the remainder of the year and keeping that consistency for our students. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I do appreciate the the department coming together. It's been a difficult year given what's happening, and for you to kind of pick yourselves up and work through this, and welcome Miss Look to kind of take over, and she's doing an amazing job as well. Along with Mr. Gronsky, Ms. Westling, you're all doing great. So that said, how are you doing? Great. what are the biggest surprises? What are the biggest things you've noticed transitioning online with something like PE that is such a physical thing that is done in person?
It is. One thing though is that with the standards that we cover, where we've had more class time, so we're able to really go a little deeper into the standards. There are a few that are non-physical based where we have to do analysis on movement and so on. And so we've been able to kind of do that a little more through video and have the kids sit down and kind of use get a little more into kinesiology and have them kind of open the horizon of PE a little bit even more. So
Yeah, I think this has provided an opportunity for us to implement more of the academic component for physical education. We have sometimes up to 60 students, and you can't fit 60 students in a classroom comfortably. So we've kind of missed out on that opportunity, and now it's given us a chance to implement a lot of these concepts. For instance, the 5 components of fitness. I did a unit on sleep, nutrition, and learning about all these different sports, whereas we wouldn't really have that opportunity. So it's been challenging on so many levels because we've all had to learn new tricks.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, how are you going to teach PE online? But you know what? We figured it out, and we're doing a good job, and I think the kids are doing well as well.
Yeah.
And we've had a lot of opportunity too to really work with the students with self-care and the social and emotional part. Because if you go through and look at our standards, a lot of the stuff that we've talked about to do with our students and within our district is in our curriculum. So like Donna mentioned, she did a lesson or 2 on sleep. We've worked on yoga and breathing. Just try to teach the kids to relax and slow everything down and take care of yourself.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely one of the components of, people, I think of PE as like moving and doing so much. I mean, even the videos they're so active, but the other piece of it is resting and taking care of your body and the breathing. So it's really important. So I'm glad you do that and work with that with your students. I have to apologize another time because I did it again. I forgot to introduce a teacher of your team, Mr. Armstrong. Mr. Armstrong, if you could forgive me, unmute yourself, say hi.
Hi, good evening, everybody. I'm Ian Armstrong, and I teach 7th and 8th grade adapted physical education. And I just wanted to chime in too. One of the things I was super impressed with the kids this year is their ability to adjust to the virtual setting from the physical setting, take a small space of their house and do the workout that we're providing for them and do it enthusiastically. I love their attitude, just amazing group of kids. So just wanted to say that.
Well, that is amazing. You do work with an amazing group of students, Mr. Armstrong. And again, the whole team transitioning from the face value of such a physical activity to transitioning online and working with students doing it. I don't know if you have any other kind of surprises with your students or any projects that you've done with your students that have been really, good highlights of the past year.
When I started at the semester, I kind of was looking to have some new interests in PE, and we brainstormed in class and came up with about, I'd say 45 to 50 topics that they would be interested to learn about, all with a activity-based topic. And they came up with skateboarding and surfing and martial arts. And we had, just last week, we completed a martial arts unit, and they were able to highlight a martial art that they were interested in. And they created slides and looked into the history and how the sport was performed. And, we discovered that martial arts are truly athletic activity. And I think the students really enjoyed learning about something that typically we wouldn't even talk about in a regular physical education class.
But that's, that old saying about, through difficulty also lies opportunity. So through all these difficulties that we've gone through, it has really pushed us, right, especially the PE department, about how to transition over. So you guys done an awesome job. Thank you, PE. We're going to kind of take it home with PE. I do want to, we're going to kind of close up a little bit. Unfortunately, we don't have any more classes at fall, but we'd love to have more. But I do want to first off thank all the parents and families that have joined us for tonight. I want to thank all the teachers that have made it over, giving your kind of talk and your highlights of the past year working online through all this difficulty it's been going through. I do want to save one last thing. If any families do have any questions or any feedback, if you can go to our website, you can find an email contact at the top where you can contact us, or you can give this school a call. So if you do any follow-up questions, if you have any questions specifically for any staff members about the classes or about the subject area, you can always go to the staff and to the teachers, and you can look up teachers to reach your contact. With that, I'm gonna pass it over to Principal Hammer.
Yes, I want to say thank you to all the families for being here as well. I know that it was a long night, and I know you guys are tired and you have a lot going on, and we appreciate that you came to see and hear about all the great things that are going on in our classes with our teachers, with our students. Ball's a great place. It's a great school. Your kids are in good hands. Thank you, Charles, for making all this happen and making this open house virtual for the first time. It's our first time ever, and it was great. And the way that you structured it was great. And teachers, thank you for being here. I know it's been a long day for you as well, and we appreciate you being here and sharing your successes with the kids and all the positive things, because even in this time when we think that things are so bad and they were difficult and they're hard, but we've made it work, and teachers have done an amazing job making it the best and making it engaging for our students and still continuing with the learning. Like somebody mentioned earlier, learning is happening, the 5 C's and the content and all of that learning is still happening. So your kids are in good hands. We're doing the best that we can do, and your kids are doing the best that they can do. So together we're gonna get through this year, and we're going to be able to start next year back on campus and in some form, in some fashion. And so we appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Ball Junior High. It's a great place to be. Have a wonderful evening. And teachers, we'll see you guys tomorrow online. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good evening.